Hello, just thought I'd make this quick video. I'm replacing the glass top. I've actually undone it and it's upside down. It's upside down right now. It would normally be flipped over. There's the new one. The glass is cracked on the old one. So instead of making, having you watch every step and the video's an hour long, I thought I would just make it a quick one here. You start off by opening the door, and up underneath here in the door jamb is 3 screws on this model. You take those screws out, then you just lift up on the top of the whole glass stove top. Just lift up on it, and it comes loose back here, and you can pull it out. And then you got to take these elements off and put them on the new one, which looks like a lot of work, but it's not, because they're just held on with these clips. You just pry these clips off with a screwdriver. You come up underneath here, or from this side, and you just pop them off. There's only 2 for each element. Pop those clips off, and this is your warmer element. So it will have to be unscrewed here and here, and then it will just lift off. So now everything's loose, and you can just take those off and set them, turn your new one upside down, put all the plates where they go, snap these back on. You just push them back on. They lock in these little grooves here. Put your 2 screws back in for your warmer plate, and that's it. You're ready to turn it over. And it was just connected to the stove by these 2 plugs here. These are a little tricky to get off, but see if I can find the other ends of them here. You'll see on one end there's a deal like that, and the new plug plugs in here. The other side there. To get it off, you just pry up on this small tab, not on this bigger tab here, but on this small tab here. Pry up on it, and they'll come right apart. You can stick a screwdriver down in there once you get it pried up a little bit, and pry them apart. That was probably the hardest thing to figure out of the whole deal. So the rest of it's just taking those 3 screws out, lift it up. Now, I will say this. To get to those plugs, because when you lift the stove up, the top, and pull it out, it won't come out far enough to get to those plugs from this side. So you got 2 options to be able to get your elements off and put them on the new one. You can just, once you pull that out a little bit, you can just stand it up and use a 2x4 or something. They show in a video that I watched, a how-to from Sears. And you prop up the top, and you take these elements off, but their elements had brackets that went across here. And you just undid a couple screws, and these 2 stayed together on that bracket, and you could just undo them from the top that you got propped up and lower them down. And then these are all together on that bracket that went across on that particular model. You just undo the screws, and you would just lay them down, and then take your old top off. Then you can pull it out enough where you can, well, actually, if you do it that way, you don't have to undo these. So you're just going to leave those connected, have your top propped up, take these loose, set them down, take your old top off, bring your new top in, mount all that back up underneath there. I thought that would be a little difficult, especially since mine are all loose. They're not bracketed together. So what I did is I took the back off, just removing, I don't know, maybe 10, 10, 12, 15 screws. Probably not 15, but you just got some up around here. Then this, the only reason I had to undo this is locked in down there to this piece. I don't need this, I didn't need this to be undone other than to just unlock it from this piece. I just needed this piece off to be able to access those. So I just took these screws, these screws here off. I think there was one on each side here, and one down underneath at the bottom there. Then that just kind of lays open because your cord runs through it down there, so it can't come all the way off. So you just let it lean back. Then your top comes right, this comes right off. Get to those plugs, pry that little tab out like I showed you. Those come undone. Then you can take your top off and bring it around and flip it upside down like I've done here, and then it's easier to work, get these elements off this way on this model because it didn't have the cross members holding them, in clusters there. So now all I'm going to do is take these off. I'm going to turn this upside down on a thick blanket so I don't damage the glass. Lay my elements where they go. Put them clips back on. I have those 2 screws for the warming plate that I'll have to put back on for this one here. And then I'll just set it back on here. You can kind of see where it'll kind of just fall in naturally where it locks in here. Sets in there nicely. Then I can connect my connections. Put that piece back on here. Lock this piece into it with those tabs right here. 3 screws to hold that on. The rest of the screws to hold this, to hold that piece on. Put that back together. You're done back here. Then to finish up, all you do is come back up here. Those 3 screws up underneath there when you open the door. Put those back in. That kind of holds the top where it can't come out or it can't move. It's locked in. That's it. You're done. So it's not too bad. It's not rocket science for sure, or I wouldn't be doing it. So I hope it helps. And thank you for watching my video.